throw my 2 cents in on this whole net neutrality government situation people have been talking about. Now, from what I've heard people say in reports online, from what I've heard people like Alpha Omega Sin say, basically it sounds like that the government now has the power, or at least for the time being, has the say-so to control what the internet can do and what we, the people, can do with the internet. True, there are some speculations of the fact that maybe in the future you may have to pay a certain amount of bucks, maybe $1, maybe $5, just to access a page for one day or at least for 1 month. Pay $5 a month to access places like DeviantArt or Facebook or whatever. Or basically, now they have, according to something like what Alpha Omega Sin said, they have the possibility to block out certain sites because it doesn't cater to their interests. Well, I looked down the comments, and 58 seconds after I was watching this video, 58 seconds, basically the midway point, as I was watching this video, 58 seconds into the midway point of watching Alpha Omega Sin's video, someone said, "Don't worry about it. It's the same as before, don't worry about it, nothing's going to change." And then of course you have somebody above that, about 2 minutes before that, saying, the FCC will fight this. They will appeal this. They will not lie down and just take this. Well, despite what happens, Congress or the government pretty much knows that people are not going to be happy about this. You've got tons of corporations that rely on the business of the consumer that are not going to take this very, very lightly. They're not going to take this positively, because you've got companies like McDonald's, you've got companies like Denny's, you've got companies like, let's say maybe Walmart, maybe Target, or wherever free Wi-Fi is at. Even a certain block or areas in San Francisco that have been announced that have announced they're going to be doing free Wi-Fi in that section. You've got sections here in Patterson, California, that in other sections as well as in Modesto, San Francisco, Hayward, that basically have cable Wi-Fi, which basically is free internet in that area. And yet people are worried that the government's going to ruin the internet. Well, here's the thing. The government, Congress, House, Senate, whatever, still has to go through one person. And if that person wants to leave the legacy, leave the mark on the White House with a positive note, this is one of the ways to do it. You see, people are going to fight this. Corporations are going to fight this. The FCC is going to fight this. And you know why? You're going to see, I'll tell you why, because you're also going to see petitions coming up just like you have before. And you know why they're going to fight this? You know why? Because pretty much they know, the FCC, anybody that's going to, all companies that depend on people, on consumers using the Wi-Fi to help grow their business, saying, oh, you come into McDonald's, or you come into Carl's Jr., you walk around these areas, you come into the store and all that, and you get free Wi-Fi. You think they're going to want to lose those consumers? They're going to want to lose those customers? No. So they're going to end up fighting the system just like everybody else. Petitions are going to go up, things like that. Everybody's going to fight this system. And the only reason this is happening, and everybody knows this, is because of what's going on financially with this country. You see, that is the one thing nobody's going to tell you. That the reason this ironically is happening right now is because the government, not just Verizon Wireless, if they're a part of this in some way, and sounds like they are, not just Verizon Wireless, but the entire government is only doing this because they want that percentage of what everybody else makes. So in other words, if Netflix is charging you maybe $8.99 a month for DVD, Blu-ray rentals, and the unlimited streaming service, The government's going to tell Netflix, hey, you either give us a certain percentage of that money, or else we're going to block you and block everybody from using your service. Same with YouTube. YouTube is practically almost a user-free service, except for maybe a few things like Crackle, except for maybe a few things like the rentals and the Crackles and all that, with the premium stuff, like the rentals and all that, and the buying and whatever. YouTube is going to be a part of fighting this because the government's going to be doing the same thing that will try to do the same thing to YouTube that they were trying for Netflix. Like, hey, YouTube, you want to keep your things going on, you want to keep your site going? Google, you want to keep your site going? You want to keep YouTube and everything going? Guess what? Give us a percentage of what you make. That's all it is. It's about the almighty dollar. They want that percentage. All because this government's financial situation is in flux right now. Whether they fixed it or not, whether we're heading for another shutdown or not, it's in flux, and that is why they're doing this. Because they want that percentage. They're not going to come out and tell you the truth. They're not going to tell you everything. People like me pretty much could see through it. It's not like, oh, well, let's control what these people say and do. I mean, Alpha, you mentioned it yourself, and some of these reports mention it themselves. It's all about charging money. That's what it is. It's about trying to get that money and that percentage to help build up the government. Build up the government's financial treasures again. Well, guess what? Or the Social Security or whatever. Well, guess what? They wouldn't have to do this if they didn't spend the money like a wild child. You know, I had my family, or at least my mom, kind of get a little upset that I spent my $40 that I earned from my brother-in-law because I went with him one night to help him to kind of vacuum up certain areas because he had fallen behind, and it was a certain area that he usually does later in the nights. But case in point, she got a little upset that I spent the $40 already, but it was the money I earned. Okay? And, you know, when somebody gets upset sometimes, they're like, oh, well, you're spending money like a wild man. That's exactly what the government has done, and that's why they're in this situation. That is why they want these things to happen. That is why they want to have control of the internet. They want to have that control. That's why they want to put this kind of fear into people, because it's basically the fact that they know they could try to attempt to get a percentage of what is made of all these online services. That's what it is. It's about that percentage. WWE Network's got their new service coming up soon. What timing, right? They're charging $9.99. Government's going to be like, okay, Mr. McMahon, you get a profit off. Looks like you're getting a decent profit off that $9.99. We'll take half of that. No. They're going to be like, we'll take 75% of that, and you just keep 25%. That's basically what it is. It's like the same thing with Netflix. It'd be like, Netflix, you keep 25% of your profits, we'll take 75%. That's the only reason they're doing this. Same with DeviantArt, Infinity, Facebook. Oh, well, you guys are making so much money after getting all these users and all that. You're making so much profit. We'll take 75% of your profit. You keep 25%. That's basically what it is. That's why the situation is happening. That is why you're going to have people fight against it. That is why you have people already telling others like you, Alpha Omega Sin, and anybody else out there, that don't worry about it, because basically it's going to get appealed. People are going to petition it. There's going to be companies all over the place that are going to go against it, all because they know the truth, and that truth is it's all about the almighty percentage dollar. They just want a piece of the pie. They want a huge chunk. All because we're in a situation right now, government financially is in a situation to where they're going to go anywhere they can to find money. But that is basically, ladies and gentlemen, what I think this whole net neutrality, government taking situation is all about. It's about them wanting a chunk of that huge percentage of profit made by every single online company out there. Whether it's Netflix, whether it's Redbox, whether it's Gamefly, whether it's Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, whether it's whatever, YouTube, Facebook, Dailymotion, Vimeo, doesn't matter. They want that percentage. And it's not just going to be like a 50-50 percentage. No, it's going to be like, you keep 25%, we'll take 75%. That's basically what it is, folks. And that's why this is happening. And that is why a lot of people are telling you, don't worry, don't go full on panic. Because basically what it is, it's going to get appealed. It's going to get fought. And all the government has to do is come out and admit the truth. And that truth is they just want a percentage of the profits. That, to me, is why this is happening. And it's kind of ironic that it happens around this time, don't you think? So, that's all I'm going to say on it. You guys let me know what you think. And I'll comment down below. And I'll talk to you later. Comment down below. God bless. Take care.